Well, hello, my beautiful Virgo. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about to pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, I've just brought back the competition for one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me, but I'll let you know how to win that a little bit later on because some people are here just for the reading and I don't like to waste anyone's time. So with that in mind, let's get straight to your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Virgo, this is your monthly reading for September. Firstly, happy birthday to all you wonderful Virgos who have already had your birthday. I hope you had an incredible time. And of course, happy birthday to all you wonderful Virgos whose birthday is yet to come. I hope you have the most magical time indeed. Now, we are officially in September. Where is the time going? It is flying on by. But this month, let's just say, hold on to your hats because astrologically, we have a lot going on. This is a very unique month. Eclipse season is upon us, so things may get a little bit wild, to be honest. Not one, but two eclipses occur this month. Plus, we also have a second new moon, often called a black moon, and that's going to occur in your sign, my beautiful Virgo. A Virgo portal, shall we say, which is also very unusual, and that will help you get a lot of things done, a lot of achievements this month. But it also coincides with a partial solar eclipse. So that is a lot. Let's unpack this and see what it means. Now, eclipses, they tend to disrupt the natural order of things and are often perceived as harbingers of change, offering you a pivotal opportunity to contemplate radically new directions, hatch new plans, set new goals, or make new promises to yourself and really keep those promises too. Now, partnered with the fact that we have officially moved into your sign, my beautiful Virgo, consider September a quality control month where you cast a meticulous eye over your life path to refine or even redefine plans with a very sharp mind, spotting anything that doesn't meet your expectations, holding yourself to higher standards if that's even possible, my beautiful Virgo. That's what it's all about this month. Decluttering, reorganizing, methodically completing complex tasks whilst making space for hard-earned rewards, plus scheduling in some quirky fun times and even quenching a thirst for knowledge, which may see you scrolling or even enrolling on workshops, classes, forums, or learning new skills. Oh, and of course, you'll be staying on top of those health goals as well. And you know what? That's a lot. And of course, it's going to be a lot for a lot of other signs, but I feel this is something that you do all the time. So this is like more of the same, business as usual, as it were. But this month, of course, it will be very busy, so it could leave you absolutely exhilarated, but also needing a well-earned massage on a secluded beach with an iced beverage of good choice and your do not disturb sign on. I mean, if only, but at least you'll be very proud that you have been super productive. Now, actually, I was given an energy that most people, of course, they're either back to work or back to their plans, back to college, back to university, back to school, all of those things. And whilst you're back to all of those things too, I feel like you may be carving out some time for you to celebrate your wonderful self, because I'm being given an image of a corkscrew right now, which can actually mean, combined events with people where there's celebration. Now, of course, it is your birthday season, so maybe it's that, but I actually feel there may be something to celebrate for you this month, because that image is very specific to you, okay? Also, you may go back and forth on something and really get to the bottom of it, but at the same time, you really do get to the bottom of it, and it is something to celebrate, okay? So whatever that means for you, that's something that's coming out there as well. Now, you're going to be very proud of yourself that you've been super productive and have ticked all those things off your to-do list. And of course, that will award you with a sense of achievement. But back to those eclipses, because they will affect us all. We have a full blood moon eclipse, and that occurs on the 7th or the 8th, depending on your time zone. And full moons offer closure, forgiveness, and an opportunity to release and let go. But partnered with an eclipse, you might just slam that door to the past, lock it, and throw away the key. Emotions tend to run very high during these times, so you may feel a little bit more sensitive than usual, but your soul really knows what you finally need to let go of. You owe it to yourself to set yourself free. Now, the blood moon encourages you to do the shadow work. Access deep emotions, assess them, deep release them. And of course, if you felt like you've been drifting over the last couple of years or months there, this is a big problem solving month to basically get you back on track or get you structured in some way. And of course, be mindful, this month, of course, in particular, because eclipses, they can amplify anxiety or give a platform to your inner critic. Remember that this too shall pass, so be wonderfully compassionate with yourself, my beautiful Virgo. And of course, as it is your birthday season, you're going to be thinking about your legacy, your life path, the journey that you've been on. So it may raise a lot of challenging emotions, a lot of nostalgia, things that make you smile, things that make you feel a bit more emotional than usual. But also, I feel like this is about setting new intentions, goals, and aspirations for your future, and really locking on to the next chapter of you, as it were, because this is a big month for you in particular. Now, animals tend to become a little bit anxious or unsettled during eclipses as well. We all feel the effects, so, extra cuddles for pets if you have any, that will be important as well there. And what's wonderful about this lunar eclipse, because not all eclipses are negative, I want you to be aware of that. In fact, they offer portals of change, okay? But this one in particular, the lunar eclipse, it trines Jupiter, planet of good luck, expansion, and opportunity, and better fortune. So expect positive results or outcomes on things that you've worked hard for or invested your time in. Saturn also returns to the sign of Pisces. Saturn is currently retrograding, so it's just retrograding back into the sign of Pisces this month. So you may revisit and breathe new life into old projects. Also, karmically, any unresolved issues are reviewed, but this is a problem-solving month, so purifying and starting with a clean slate is something that you will lock onto during this period as well. If you want to change your life, this is a big month to do it. This is the month to lead positively with intention, as manifestation frequencies are very high indeed, and you're going to have the benefit of them the most because, of course, it's your season. Now, the partial solar eclipse, let's talk about that, okay, on the 21st or the 22nd, depending on which hemisphere you reside in. This will coincide with that black new moon in your sign, okay? Now, I have to give you this part straight, okay, because eclipses, they're a little bit of a mixed bag, okay? And this one isn't as positive. Now, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad or negative. However, it may raise some tensions collectively, which is why structure will be the key to managing September. It could be that you have some plot twists, something comes in last minute that you have to do, or someone lets you down, or someone cancels or reschedules, that sort of thing. So just be mindful of being a little bit flexible at the end of the month there. Now, in terms of global events, and please fast forward this part if you really don't wish to hear it, September is a very pivotal shift month. We may witness an economic wobble, which harvests very serious conversations around global bankruptcy and draconian ways to replenish governmental purses. And as I mentioned before, eclipses are harbingers of change, and these particular eclipses will really steal the show. And of course, in ancient times, a blood moon eclipse actually symbolized the fall of a king or a leader or someone of great influence. So we may see headlining news in and around this, or even their substitute or body double. I was given an energy of body double when I was tapping into all of this energy to give you the monthly readings. I mean, I hope that makes sense. I'm not really sure. I'm sure people have body doubles, but anyway, there may be a conversation in and around that as well. And we will certainly continue to see shocking exposés centered around public figures during this time as their hidden dark side comes to light, as it were, and then we really question their position of influence. Now, solar eclipses in particular were often interpreted as causing anger, conflict, and uprising. So we may see growing tensions rise globally as people seek to be heard and represented fairly. And of course, eclipses also tend to affect nature in very extreme ways. We're already witnessing amplified shifts. I mentioned all of these shifts like a couple of years ago, that we were going to see amplified weather that is just like, what is the weather doing? There's a lot of change going on there. The earth is also going through some birthing pains. So we're witnessing this already, but this month could see some of these elements reach a very critical point. We could see fiery seismic shifts amplifying water-related events. And of course, those eclipses are in your sign, my beautiful Virgo, which is Earth and Pisces. So that's water. So, we may see them influence those elements. Now, we may also see conversations directed at shaking up healthcare systems and implementing new protocols. That's always going to be positive. Critical debates around unemployment as well, and the advancement of AI or even replacement technology. This will hit the headlines for the next couple of years, but at least the conversation is out there on the table, highlighting what a future could look like if technology becomes more celebrated than human talent. I feel this is a month that kind of asks us to do some critical thinking about the course that we're headed on so that we can judge it and change it. So that, of course, a future when it comes to technology and AI could complement human talent and live alongside human activity rather than take it over, as it were, okay? Now, of course, it's not all doom and gloom. I want you to be aware of that because there's so many layers to life and the energies, and, there's global energy, there's energy outside of yourself, there's also personal energy. So on that personal note, K2 is in the sign of Leo, which is going to work really hard to see you receive recognition and gain for past efforts. And I'm seeing some gain right here for you. We'll get to your cards in a moment, okay? And of course, we have the wonderful Jupiter cheerleading for you on the sidelines, sending extra luck, willing you to win, and sending extra benevolence right up until it retrogrades on the 11th of November. So whilst it may feel like everything is falling apart, it is here that it all falls together and comes back stronger than ever before. Now, this is a perfect month to refine or even introduce rituals where you raise vibrations. Your Virgonian frequencies actually encourage you to be in service. Firstly, to yourself, okay? That's very important. The cup, needs to be replenished and full for yourself first. And of course, then next it'll be those you hold dear. And of course, then it'll be the world at large. And we can all do our bit to send or spread love and positivity. I always say, wherever you may be the soul of that place. It means you're present. It means you're shining your light. It starts with yourself first and it emanates outwards, okay? This is a time to light a candle. Play your favorite song, connect to higher vibrations, connect to nature. We are all one, and those who seek to divide shall not succeed, okay? So, very important time indeed. Now, your cards, we have Adventure. I'm not surprised to see this because, of course, it is your birthday season. So you may be looking at exploring things outside your comfort zone or outside your usual parameters. There's literally a space person there. So this can indicate, that you're doing things that are outside of your usual structures. It could be that you're checking out like new restaurants, new cafes, new environments, maybe even doing new projects at this time. This card indicates you are wanting to take more risks in life. This can coincide with the fact that, of course, it is your birthday season. So you're thinking a lot about your legacy. You're thinking about your path, your commitments, your repetitive cycles, your routines. And it can be that you just want to do something a little bit bold, daring, and outside the usual kind of things that you encounter. Now, it's not just a risk, though. You're taking an educated risk. You're doing something you haven't done before or experiencing something new. That's your intention. And of course, this will clear your mind to give space for wonder. Sometimes it's like, what if I did this? How would it go? What if I moved overseas? Would it be different? How if I set up a business? Would I get more money? Would I be more free? This could be a month where you're like, what if? Okay. And it says they're south. So this can be, of course, that you're actually relocating and going south. But I feel more than anything, this is about you being protected in order to be explorative in your life. We have a wonderful umbrella there. Umbrellas are all about protection during challenging times or storms, for example. And of course, this is about you removing yourself from challenge in order to explore new ways or new pathways. You may literally be forging new ways to do something. Also, I feel this is a card of you looking carefully at your life to see what you feel is the missing ingredient. What's that missing spark that you've been hoping for? Nine of Pentacles sees you want to be more independent. It also indicates you're having a glow up. This is time for you. So a lot of you may actually be pampering yourself in a new way or treating yourself in a new way. I mean, in terms of finances, I definitely see here that you're on course to be very disciplined with your finances. Nine of Pentacles indicates that you are trying to conserve your wealth as much as possible. We all need to pay bills, but it can be that you are kind of like compartmentalizing your finances, so you leave a little aside to go out and have fun. Your seventh house is influencing you, so this is going to make you feel a little bit more sociable, connect to friends. It could also make you think about, if you're single, for example, whether you want to be in love, whether you want to get married someday, because you also have, an Ace of Pentacles, you have this endurance rock. So this can be that right now you're single for some of you, and you're enjoying your single life, but there is someone that you can grow with in your future. We have the Judgment card energy, so that can signal time that someone new comes into your life and there's a lot of potential there. So you could be like planting roots with someone new there. But ultimately, I really feel this month is going to trigger big conversations about your independence, but also about your sense of purpose, your true path, your true mission, as it were. Now, Nine of Pentacles, from a practical level, this is about you being successful, achieving something. It is also about living a life of comfort or aspiring to reach those levels. But also this is about spending time in nature. And I would say that some of you, because this card has come out there, this is about leaning into friendships as well. This is about you being independent and witnessing that you are a linchpin in a group of people. But if you're searching for your soul tribe, this could be a month where you join something. You may even pay to join something. It could be, a group where you upskill or educate yourself or hone a talent, or it could be that you join like some sort of group that has a connection to music. I mean, it could be a dancing group, could be where musicians come together, could be just like community center, somewhere where there's ambiance. Okay, you're meeting people this month if you're searching for your soul tribe. And I feel there's an energy here of a person in particular that is really kind of like direct, honest. The way that they kind of abruptly deliver what they need to say, you really respect that, because what you see is what you get with that person, and they are true blue. So I feel like you have a very deep conversation, really raw conversation with a new person this month. And I feel that it kind of solidifies firm friendship going forward. But if you're looking for love as well, I feel like there is a potential for love to come on in, even though this is not really like a love month for you, as it were. It feels like it's not your focus. Doesn't mean it's not there. It just feels like you're trying to, focus on your goals, be independent, also be financially independent, so sticking to a financial strategy there as well. But also it's about your sense of direction and taking more risks, calculated ones, because of course you have the Queen of Swords there. So very organized kind of month for you. It can be that, you're trying to get everything done in order to take some time out, maybe go on a quick getaway or a small trip, vacation, something that you've been saving for, so you can have a rest. And when you take some time away, if you are lucky enough to do that, then of course it gives you thinking time about how your life has been out of balance, or how you can discover that missing ingredient there. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is, of course, about self-reliance. So you tend to be a person who kind of shows up for yourself. And I feel this is about you trying to create stability in the material world, really focused on being able to save some money. When you think about the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Nine of Pentacles, the figure is there. 6 pentacles on the side. It's like, I'm saving this. I'm not touching this. And then there's 3 pentacles over here. It's like, okay, I'm going to give out to bills or repayment plans or, food, all the things that you need to purchase. It's like you want to be financially free in some way. So you may be taking down debt, or this is something that you're calculating, because I feel a lot of you are calculating something. Could be that you're trying to save for a larger purchase like real estate or a large vacation, for example, or maybe a gift. I actually see, a gift, lots of gifts actually coming in here. Ace of Pentacles is a gift card, okay? It can be a literal gift card that you're utilizing for purchases, or it can be that, this is a gifting season for you because, of course, it is your birthday season. I feel there is this energy of someone giving you a call on your birthday or in and around your birthday, even if it's your birthday has passed, for example, you may get a call from someone from your past, and this actually is a gift in itself because you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard from you in ages. So it's a really wonderful moment where, you reminisce, you catch up, and I just feel like there is someone wanting to re-enter your life. They've been thinking about you a lot, so reunion energy is coming through very strongly there. And this may shock you. It's kind of out of the blue. So if you have your same number all these years, I feel like someone is going to reach out and give you a call, good old fashioned call, not just a text, not an email, but a call. Okay, so that's coming through there as well. Now, because we have that Nine of Pentacles, this can be that you're thinking about being independent of debt, as I mentioned. So you could be, trying to get the final payments together to take down a mortgage, or perhaps you're taking down a repayment plan on something you purchased, a higher purchase, for example. But also for some of you, this could be that you are deciding to go solo, launch your own business, become your own boss, do something wildly different when it comes to your career, okay? It could also be an independent project or a new way of working that sets you apart from other people that brings in a lot of success. I feel this is a month where if you work for a company, you could be set apart from other people in order to receive some sort of small increase in finances, or like employee of the month, or maybe like a raise in some way, or a bonus. This could also be like new money coming on in. So it could be like a tax rebate, for example, if you're already an independent worker or you're your own boss there. But the Queen of Swords is an energy of like setting healthy boundaries. And because it is partnered with the Nine of Pentacles, this can be that, you're protecting your inner peace, but also you're, protecting your finances. You're setting healthier kind of structures when it comes to spending money. But also it can be that, you are not just very organized, but you are setting intentions for your future. And this can be that you want to be a little bit more independent. You could be looking at an alternative way of living. So you may be deciding to relocate or actually move abroad, for example. For some of you, this could be that you have some new ideas that you are trying to get off the ground at this time. And you may look around and think, okay, it's a little bit out there. It's a little bit unique and different from what other people are doing, but that's absolutely the point. Keep moving forward with that, because that again sets you apart. I feel there is some sort of reward or some sort of spotlight on you over the next month there. And I feel this card is also very important because this is a card of like using your intellect or rational logic to make a decision about something. And I feel you may have a major decision to make in the month of September, but I feel like you're making a calculated risk. It almost feels like if you do what you always do, you're always going to get the same outcome. And if you're not happy or satisfied with that, or you feel like there's room for more, you may even surprise yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to go for it. Okay. But it is a calculated one. You've done your due diligence. You've got all your information before you go for it there as well. Okay. Now, if some of you are going through a separation or a divorce, firstly, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. Okay. This is a card of like feeling kind of like, you know, embracing your independence, but it's like a brand new world, as it were. It doesn't have to be separation or divorce either. It can be that, you know, you've entered into some sort of new circumstances, moved to a new neighborhood, new job, or you're just feeling a little bit at odds with your environment at this time. You're trying to get into the rhythm of things. Well, firstly, if you are going through a separation or divorce, I can see that, of course, you know, there is sorrow that goes with this. I feel a lot of you are shocked, feeling a little bit out of sync with how it all went. But I feel like you're someone who is very strong. You know, you will thrive and survive even under the harshest circumstances. But it is here that you have a glow up. It is here that, of course, there may be a settlement. So it could be that suddenly, you know, you're letting go of something and you're restarting, as it were. And of course, with that judgment energy, I feel this makes space for you to really focus on your true life's calling and mission. And I feel, you know, there's this energy I'm being shown, and this is not going to resonate with everyone, of course, but I'm really being shown like a feather just suddenly floating and like coming towards you. And you'd be like, oh, it's clear that the feather wants to be with you. So I feel this is a divine intervention message to say, you know, they've got you. You're protected and directed at this time. So if you're entering into like a new way of living, or you have been going through a separation or divorce, you know, I feel that you will be loved again, but I feel this is your time to invest in yourself. This is your time to, you know, enter into a new pace of life, and you're going to really enjoy it. May not feel like it at first because it feels a little bit like you're out of your rhythm, as it were, or you're out of a comfortable structure that perhaps you were in before, but it feels now that there is like a self-sufficiency, and of course there's going to be money coming on in here. The Ace of Pentacles energy can be like a settlement from a divorce, but also it can be that, you know, you have new money making ideas. For some of you, this could also be that you're moving into retirement. It can be that you're taking early retirement this month. And if that's you, congratulations. I feel like you are financially independent. I feel like you are being stricter with your budget, but I feel like that's at first, okay? That's going to be until you get into your rhythm and realize that you are secure. Maybe a small fluctuation in your pension pot there, or your 401k, where there's a small increase. So that can be positive as well. Now, a lot of you, this month is all about communication, okay? Because that Queen of Swords energy is all about how you articulate your needs from a healthy space. So I'm not seeing anybody else here in your reading. So I feel this month you are going to prioritize your own needs, and you're going to pay close attention to your thoughts, okay? Because swords are all about thoughts. You know, there's a healthy boundary that you can have with other people, but also you must have a healthy boundary with yourself, because sometimes you're a little bit critical. You may have been under a lot of pressure recently, which I can see there with that tower, but this is about managing stress levels, cortisol levels, and I feel, of course, it is about, you know, purifying any like unresolved issues this month. And you will be affected by this highly because of that black new moon in your sign, okay? So things could get a little bit emotional for you. I want you to be aware of that, but it helps you break free. The tower indicates higher frequencies help you break free from a structure or strategy that has been limiting you in some way. But also it can be that you're starting to see people or situations as they truly are, and you're evolving away from these situations. So if people, situations, they're not hitting in the same way, if you have a hobby, for example, that you always like to do, but now it's not feeling as exciting or rewarding or satisfying, it can be that you're evolving away from these things, and it's about breaking down the structures to rebuild. You know, there's a rebirth going on here, an awakening. And for some of you, you could actually, on a personal level, have like a bit of a rude awakening regarding something that's a little bit out of balance. So for example, it could be that you get like extra dehydrated this month, or there is a vitamin deficiency, or there is something that is necessary for you to like put back into balance. You know, it could be even hormonal. So it could be things get to a critical stage, but you avoid anything that is critical because the Tower is in the resistance position. The Tower just means surprise or sometimes shock, but because you've got it in the resistance position, this can mean that, you know, you're alerted to something that, you know, is not critical, but you have an opportunity to make sure that you correct it. So if you know what I mean there. So for example, if you are having a little bit of an off day with a friend, there could be like an argument that brings some stuff up, you know, from below the surface, and things get critical in that argument. But you suddenly become aware of the root cause of why you're arguing with that person or with your partner, for example. Often when we argue about something, it's normally something mundane, but there tends to be a deeper root cause, something that's festering below. So it can be that suddenly it is exposed, because that's what the Tower does. It exposes anything that has been feeling a little bit shaky, or, you know, has been building up over time, for example, and then suddenly it's all out on the table so that, you know, it can be purified, so it can be cleansed, so that you can really look at it and get back into the flow. So, you know, please apply it to your situation, because it can be applied to many different situations there. But I feel this is a very positive outcome. It promotes growth. So, you know, when you argue with your partner, for example, it normally means something is out of kilter, or if you argue with like a family member, you know, if you think about storms, they release pressure. You know, there's a lot of rain on that card. So it can be that, you know, you may be having a conversation that releases pressure. Could also be like, an appraisal with your boss at work, for example, or it could even be like a neighbor or your landlord or someone who, you know, there seems to be something a little bit off, and then suddenly it all comes out and it just helps clear the air. Okay, so I want you to be aware of that. This is a month where people get a little bit cranky, so yeah, just be mindful of that. Now this card is actually super positive. It's number 35. When you reduce it, 3 plus 5 is 8, of course, so a lot of personal development and growth. I mean, the 7th house is all about rituals. It's about, you know, promoting healthy self-care rituals that you implement and keep doing over time, refining any kind of routines there as well. But also it's about relationships, it's about equality, reciprocity, and then you've got your first house. And the first house is all about you. It's about your body, it's about your mind, your soul, it's about your identity. It's about, you know, you looking at you and what makes you unique and helps you refine and redefine who you are during this time because of all the elements that are in play. But you know, this month could see you revamping a look, so you may actually be going through, because this is kind of like a detoxifying card or decluttering kind of energy in order to make space for new items or new things. So you may actually treat yourself to something new, but you may also go through that closet, declutter, or even like sell pre-loved goods in order to create space for more things or more money in your pocket, for example. But also, this is about you looking at what makes you unique and stand out in many different areas. And, you know, this can be in the job force. This could be if you're going for an interview. If you're someone who's currently out of work at this moment in time, you may have lots of ideas about going independent. So you may be setting those ideas in motion. Lots of structures here, maybe a legal structure or setting up your own business, because you have a lot of knowledge. And, you know, if you are deciding to kind of like get that structure in motion, there's also an opportunity coming your way as well that brings in more financial gain. So if you are looking for a new role, if you put your resume out there, I know it has been very hard. I mean, the job market has literally been very shocking there. You may have felt it's been a bit oversaturated and shaky, actually. And with that Temperance energy, you've been very patient, but now you're starting to get a little bit impatient or a little bit worried there. I feel there is a role coming on in. It feels very much like you're returning, because this is a return energy. You're returning to a working environment that either you enjoy or the money is the right money. You know, you're returning to a level that you kind of left, and it's quite exciting. The universe is aligning you with something that will continue to grow even through challenging economic times. So if you're looking for a role, I do see one coming on in. And over time, actually, I feel like you'll staircase your finances in this role quite quickly. So you will make more and more money each year there as well. Now, if you're just in a role, okay, it could be that you're having a little bit more responsibility on your shoulders, and this will set you apart for a new project or even some sort of bonus there, because I feel that there is an energy here of more money being offered to you in some way. So you may get that call very, very soon. This could be something you're just going to be talking about, but gets offered to you a little bit later there as well. Now, this card, of course, it is all about the continuous efforts that you're making. There are conditions right now that are bringing you more prosperity. You may not be able to see it at this moment in time, but this card indicates that your prosperity is being delivered and your needs will be met. So this is divine intervention. Ace of Pentacles is the hand of the universe offering you a surprise that you would love. This is prosperity in its purest form. This is a concrete result on something that is positive, okay? This can be in any shape or form, something that you've been manifesting or hoping for there. This is a solid moment to receive something successful that you will celebrate. And also, this is about you making an impact. So that really comes back full circle to your sense of identity, but also to your legacy, because of course, this is a big month for you there as well. But, you know, when you get this card, this is about like making it rain financially, you know, having an idea or a structure that, you know, you put a seed there, you're working on it, you're actually nurturing a project or you're nurturing something that is growing, and suddenly you start to see it grow into something magnificent. So I feel this is about your hard work starting to really flourish and align with what your idea of what success is. So I'm quite excited about this because that's the seed that is planted within you right now, and it can be that you're structuring it at this time. Ace of Pentacles, the universe is taking some steps towards you to offer you opportunity. And of course, we have that rock, you know, the tree grows into something spectacular, even though the roots are planted on a rock where, you know, nothing should really grow, but it's like you're making the impossible possible on something there as well. So I am quite excited. Some of you also, if you're pregnant, this could be that, you know, you are growing the next generation. And I mean, some of you may, if you have the ability to be pregnant, you know, you may actually have a shock pregnancy or even hear about someone close to you who suddenly found out that they're pregnant as well. This could be news that comes on in. And this could be someone, because this is coming through very strongly, this could be someone who's told that they perhaps would have difficulty getting pregnant there, but it may be a surprise. So that's coming out there as well. Now, ultimately, this is about you standing true to your belief system, to your life philosophy, and also, you know, implementing new ways of doing something that you will carry with you over time, as it were. And we do have the Tower. I'm going to pull a card on this. It's in the resistance position, but the Tower can indicate that, you know, you're dissatisfied with something, and it's a structure or a routine that you feel you want to break out of, because your protagonist energy is all about being independent, being free, and this can be applied in many different ways. So for example, you know, if you live with your parents, but you're saving up to get an apartment for yourself, it could be that suddenly an opportunity for the right apartment at the right price lands in your lap and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm moving out. I'm having more independence. I'm going to do my own thing. It's my house, my rules now. Or it could be that suddenly, you know, a deal comes through for you and you can set up your own business. And now you are standing out, because the Tower is something that is powerful. You know, a tower of power. This can be that you're structuring things where you stand out in some way, or, you know, you do something at lightning speed that sees you kind of like stand tall and be noticed. That's what I'm getting from this card. But let me just pull a quick card on that, because of course the Tower in the resistance position can mean that you like avoid something. There's divine intervention, but also it can be a fear of change. For example, success changes people, situations. So it could be that you're about to get a new successful job, opportunity somewhere and you have to travel, or you have to move or relocate in some way, or there's going to be extra hours traveling to get there. It's further away, maybe even in a different country. For some of you, it could also be that you come into a lot of money. I mean, looking at the fecundity card, which is basically you making it range financially, it means there's a lot of prosperity around you, and you have an Ace of Pentacles. You could win some money. I feel a lot of you, it's due to your hard work and your projects, but there is a potential here to win some money. And, people may look at you as being like super lucky or super successful, but you know that, you've been under a lot of pressure. You have been trying to hold it all together. You've been working super hard. They're just seeing the measure of your success. So you may notice that people are kind of like looking at you in a different way. It can change friendships. It can change dynamics within family members as well, so it can be that success changes, and some of you may be afraid that, you're reaching for success, and of course you're worried about the changes it may bring. Sometimes, and this isn't true of everybody, but sometimes there is a fear of success. When you're about to reach a certain level, of course, you're reaching for something, and it's about enjoying the journey to get there. But then when you're there, you have to maintain and sustain, and that's equally a lot of pressure. So it can be, a lot of factors going on. We have the Nine of Swords and we have the Three of Wands. So the Tower can indicate you may be worried about something because the Nine of Swords is there, or you may have been, when you're in bed, lying there, having something on your mind. But the Three of Wands can be in the future. It can be you worrying if you're on the right path. But then suddenly some sort of shocking opportunity comes left field, a plot twist, where the universe steps in and offers you something, and it's quite a surprise. It's positive. For some of you with that Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is waiting, but it's also about kind of like making the right choices. So if you have to make a choice, it can be that you're worried that you're not making the right choice, or it can be that you feel a little bit out of sync with your heart's desire, because the Three of Wands is basically you're on the right path. It's like, have confidence in yourself. You're making the right decisions and you are on course. But the Nine of Swords always says we're always going to worry about these things. Nine of Swords can also be quietening the inner critic, having self-compassion, turning fear into possibility, a call to faith, as it were. Because I feel your outcome cards, these are super positive. Three of Wands is a card basically that highlights that in the future there's brighter opportunities. But it could be something that you're planning for or calculating right now, and you're worried that you're not going to make it or it's not going to happen. But actually, I can see it's positive and it's going to happen, and it's going to be long term, whatever this is. So Three of Wands is, the precipice of celebration. It feels like you're not quite there yet, but nearly, if that makes sense. Okay. Now, it's interesting because the Three of Wands is an energy often that the thing that we're worried about with that Nine of Swords, Three of Wands normally means it turns out better than you ever imagined. So I would say, the Nine of Swords for you and the Tower is just you protecting yourself as a precaution. Like, what if it doesn't go well? What if I don't get that application? What if this? What if that? And actually, you're going to get all the good stuff that is connected to your true life's mission and purpose. You're going to get that call. You're going to be offered that deal. You're going to be offered something that is positive, something that is rewarding, okay? It is success, because Ace of Pentacles is an alignment with success and also you making an impact in your world. Now, we also have the Temperance card. So this tells me something is out of balance, though. So it could be that you identify hormones out of sync, or, that there is that vitamin deficiency, but you get back on course. And it can be that, you replenish it in some way, especially with these cards. Okay. Now, moving away from energy, I feel a lot of you, when it's connected to your sense of purpose and direction, because I feel that's what your main focus is this month. I do see you like in training, as it were, maybe either physical or educational. Could be that you are buying new tools, for example, in order to help you move forward on something, or learning new skills. skill development, language learning, research, you know, all of that connected to the mind, new knowledge there. And it can be that you're blending all of these aspects of your life to create something really stable and solid for your future, and even towards generational wealth. And this reading is not really meant to be about finances. In fact, the first house is all about you, but this could be that you have to really be a little bit stricter with yourself with that Queen of Swords, because you're always giving your energy out to others. So it can be that this is the month where you really need to remember yourself, okay, to prioritize your own needs there. But I am seeing a lot of you focusing on prioritizing tasks, responsibilities, being very organized and structured, very productive. You may be in the planning stages of something as well. And you may feel like you're not quite there yet, but you're going to have a breakthrough in the month of September there as well for you. The Temperance card is all about patience, and I feel like you have a lot of patience actually, but that Temperance energy, this can be meditation as well. It can be that you are trying to find a moment of calm because you have been holding it all together. You may have felt, for some of you, may have been a little bit worried financially about something, and you know, I feel it works out positively for you there. I feel help is at hand if you really are in a bind, but more than anything, I feel this is about you remaining harmonious, to like keeping life running smoothly. Now, of course, we have Endurance, Rock. So this card is interesting because this card indicates that you may be looking for a little bit more groundedness in chaotic situations. So I would say, you know, because you have come off the back of the Temperance energy, it's like slow and steady is the way towards success, or is the way to overcome something. You don't need to rush into something. So there could be something that surprises you mid-month, okay? And it requires your diligence, but your groundedness, so that you're unflappable in the situation. I mentioned it already. It's like someone could like let you down or cancel something, or something like a plot twist comes left field there and it surprises you, but I feel like, you know, you're in control of it, whatever it is, or you find an alternative. I feel, you know, because you have such independent cards, this card literally means that you're self-sufficient. And this card is like, you know what, I got this. I do this for myself all the time. You know, I'm self-assured. I know myself. So it can be, if you want something done well, you may as well do it yourself. So I feel you're kind of ready to just do it yourself anyway. So if someone does let you down or cancels something, I feel like you find an alternative and you just do it yourself. So that's coming through there for you. I hate to give you that message, but it is something that's coming through. But this is number 20, and that's interesting because we've also got the Judgment card, which is number 20. Now, whenever I see 20 and 20 next to each other, I always go, whew, horrible year, okay? But it could be something that, you know, you are kind of moving on from that period. So it could be that you're getting back on track. It may have taken you a long time, maybe even to resolve some issues regarding that time in and around, you know, yourself, your family, your friendships. So it could be something that like has, how can I put that? An unresolved issue, right? Because of course that was a very challenging time and a very discombobulating time. So because they're there, you know, I just feel there's something, because eclipses tend to like dredge up stuff from the past, unresolved issues, especially since we have Saturn moving back into the sign of Pisces, which is all about emotions and things. You know, there's a return to this energy of like remembering from that period. That something is just coming through. That does not happen for any of my readings normally, but it has happened for this one. So maybe this is something, you know, most of us have moved on from that period and we're just, you know, trying to recalibrate and stay on track. But there could be something that you think about during that time. Okay, so that's coming through there as well. Okay, now, of course, this card, it indicates that, you know, there is progression. It is slow progression. I would say that slow and steady wins your race this month. You know, it feels a lot like business as usual. But I also feel there's this energy of wanting to take more risks in life or do something a little bit more bold and daring. And you're safe enough to do so. But this tree indicates expansion. So I would say you may be expanding your social circle because of your 7th house, or expanding your opportunities because that connects to business as well, and equality, getting justice for all that hard work that you do. But also someone could expose themselves as being a frenemy. I hate to give you that message, but the 7th house can be about people who perhaps, it's not that they wish you unwell, but when you're doing really well, they are reminded that maybe they feel like they're not doing so well. So, there may be someone who kind of like just reveals a part of themselves that you don't really like, but you felt already intuitively that you're outgrowing this person. So that's something that's coming through already as well, because you're someone who's a true blue friend. You'd be there like through thick and thin at any time of day for a person. You are literally ride or die. So this can be, that you're witnessing someone or, a relationship that you invested in. You may be a little bit sorrowful that you're having to detach from this, because there is a detachment energy coming from this card. And it's like, okay, I come in peace, but at the same time, I need to give you a truth. And I'm just erecting healthier boundaries right now. And I'm not having you cross those boundaries. So I feel you could be removing yourself, which actually shocks them. But I feel, you were a little bit sad to kind of have this interaction and this removal in your life. So I just feel like you're removing yourself there from somebody with that. But we have that Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace of Pentacles, of course, is an alignment with your hopes, dreams, and wishes. And it is an ace. So this can be that, you're being very grounded and you're thinking about your life philosophy and you're thinking about having some sort of new start in some way. Aces are the beginning that have a lot of potential, but also an Ace of Pentacles can indicate many different things, of course. Initially, it can be that an opportunity comes through for you that you'll celebrate, that has a lot of potential, that you'll nurture to term. It can also be that you will receive money, of course, new project. But also, I feel this could be that, pentacles are connected to the earth and to the body. Okay, so it can be that you discover something new, whether it is like a food that you will enjoy, or this could be that, it's really interesting because my guys just said, formed under pressure, you're a diamond. So that just came through. It was just so random. Formed under pressure, you're a diamond. Okay, so for some of you, if you're in a relationship, maybe your partner will pop the question, because the 7th house can be all about that. And you've been under a lot of pressure. Maybe they've been waiting for the right moment to pop the question and kind of like, surprise you there. That Tower can be a really positive surprise, like someone popping the question. Yes. So that's coming through there as well. But, this is an energy of you realizing that you are a gift, because you're going to be doing a lot of philosophical thinking during this month, because your 1st house is making you really conscious about who you are, what you believe in, what's your life philosophy. It's all about your partnerships and alliances as well, who you connect to, because your 7th house is there. If you're searching for love, this is you like wanting an investment for the future, something that, you can really feel safe and secure to grow in, a relationship that lasts the tests of time, as it were. And with that Judgment energy, you may be casting that critical eye on your life right now in order to call out anything that does not deserve a place in your life, because you're reaching for something more. This is a month of upgrade for you. Of course, there's many practical things that you'll be focused on, like new contracts, new service providers. You may be looking at expiry dates on rolling contracts. You may suddenly decide to cut something out because perhaps the service is not as good as you hope it to be, or it should be. You may also be moving money around for bills and large purchases, maybe stocks, acquisitions, direct debits, all of those things, because you have, financial energy right there. But also, this is a month where, you're thinking more about you and how you reinvest in yourself, and that you are a gift. And often you may feel that you yourself put yourself like last in line, almost like an afterthought, because you're so busy giving so much of yourself out. So I feel this is about you kind of like reinvesting in self. The Judgment card is also a renewal, an awakening, having more energy, but it's an examination energy as well. So if you are someone who's literally having an exam in the next coming month there, you're going to do really well. It gives you huge opportunities for your future. You're going to be so proud of yourself. Congratulations there. The Judgment card is also a revelation, but I've mentioned that already. You may, have a revelation about someone that you know who perhaps shows themselves in a different light, and you may not like that, and you are kind of removing yourself from their energy. This is a card of awareness, but also, it can be a restart energy. So some of you may be just wanting to course correct, even though I feel the majority energy that's coming through, you're on the right course. You're on the right path. That Three of Wands came out for a reason, and that is what that card means. But, with that Judgment energy, this can be that you are kind of trying to find where that missing ingredient is. You may be also getting closure on past situations. And, the Judgment energy is basically an energy of protecting oneself, going through a period of self-analysis, having a lot of critiquing energy going on in your life. And also, I would say, this is coming as an aside, you may have some psychic flashes at the end of the month, a lot of knowingness, okay? I feel there is this, there's this energy of just knowing which direction to go in, or knowing when to reveal something or launch something, or when to say that important conversation, when to kind of address something here. Because, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Judgment card has people literally standing in coffins, and the angel is trumpeting there. So it can be that, something is ended in your life and you want renewal. You want to move on from this. You want to get closure from this. But also, you may be praying for divine intervention or a sign or an omen, and you're going to get that. This is a big month for letting go as well for you. A lot of your energy, I got to be honest with you, I feel a lot of your energy, you're really judging your finances as well. I feel this is about you being able to save more, maybe even for a rainy day. But I don't see a rainy day in your future there. So I feel it just becomes savings. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide? Now, I am being given one thing that I don't particularly like, but I have to mention it, okay, because it is coming through there. For some of you, there may be, I'm just getting this overpriced energy. So you could purchase something and they overcharge you, or they charge you twice. Because we've got that Temperance energy, it's like double, okay? You will get the money back, but you have to discover it. You have to see it. You have to judge it. You have to call them up and say, hey. So I would pay close attention to your finances this month. Check your accounts, because I feel it's an error, okay? It is an error. And if you're traveling, it could be whilst you're traveling, because you got another adventure card here. You got two adventure cards. So just be mindful of that. You'll just have to call up and contest it, and you just get your money back. It is a genuine error. There's nothing negative here. There's no malicious energy. So it wasn't something that was stolen. I want you to be aware of that, okay? So that's something that's coming out there as well. Now we have 666, okay? Now a lot of people say that's a negative number, but actually it's very positive. Look up the origins of 666. It's all about balance, love, harmony, okay? But it says here, reflection. It says your angels are guiding you to take a step back and reflect on the choices you have made in your past. Your life may be out of balance. I said that already, that you may feel like you're out of sync or out of balance or something. The pace, something's just a little bit off kilter, but you will get back into balance there. But it says your life might be out of balance, or you might have made decisions driven by fear. It's time to take control and tap into your inner strength, rediscover what truly matters to you, and realign your priorities. So that's the missing ingredient. Okay, so I would say this is you really thinking, strategizing, structuring, calculating. That's what I picked up on there. You're deep in thought, maybe even looking at these two paths. Like one is the moon, and it is a void moon right there. It's like one just doesn't feel as fulfilling, and you may be a bit sensitive about it, but one is like exhilarating and exciting because I've got the sun energy. I feel like you're moving towards the sun energy. a lot of success, positivity, but you may be at a fork in the road where you have to make some decisions. And I feel that was relevant right at the beginning of your reading there as well. But we've got adventure, and there is no coincidences. When two adventure cards come out in two separate decks, this is a time where you are, opened up to the alternative or exploring outside your parameters. And that can be, as I said, in many different ways. But it says, your life has a master plan that is constantly evolving. Fill it with adventure, focus on new experiences rather than material things. By exploring new territories, we challenge ourselves to see the world with fresh eyes and open minds. The expansion of your heart and soul is what truly matters. So that can be connected to your sense of purpose. That's what matters. The money, of course, will flow from there. I do see that you are concerned about money. It is something that is important in our lives because it keeps us stable, secure, and keeping life running smoothly. But of course, this is about you expanding on opportunities, taking risks, seeking more adventure in life. We can have it all, but sometimes life is a lot of pressure, a lot of structure, responsibility, and it's hard to find pockets of adventure or joy. But I feel like you're carving that out for you now. And we have number 8. 8 is the number of the self, and we've got karma. Okay. Now it says here, as you sow, you shall reap. And that's exactly what I'm seeing here. You are sowing something here that you will reap, and it is super rewarding. Whether you are invested in relationships, friendships, your work, whether you're committed to changing the world. Some of you could be, as I mentioned, entering into retirement, and you're at a different pace at this time. And you may, be trying to expand your friendship circles with other people who've retired if your friends have not retired at the same time. You may be looking further afield in different parts of the world. But it says here, karma is a harmonious balance that bridges the conscious and the unconscious, the material and the spiritual. Be mindful and intentional about your thoughts and actions as they hold the power to shape our experiences. So this is you blending the two realms. Thoughts become things. So what you have in your mind, you can literally have in your hand. An idea becomes material. It becomes real. So pay close attention to your thoughts. 9 of Swords energy that came out earlier. If we catastrophize or always think about the worst case scenario, we're going to call that into our lives. I know we want to protect ourselves and say, what if it happens though? We want to be ready so we're not surprised. That's why your tower is in your center position, because it's like protecting yourself so you don't get caught off guard, right? But, sometimes we can catastrophize or attach to a vibration to call it in. So I would say here that this is about the power of possibility and attaching to some really positive outcomes, because that's what I see in your outcome energy. I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a ring for you. Oh. Really interesting. My guide said 888. Now, that was obviously the one that dropped, because when I opened my eyes, because I realized, I do close my eyes when I pick the trinkets. I opened my eyes and I saw one dropped, and I saw 888, and my guides actually gave me 888 as well. Where is it? Okay, thanks so much. I'm truly grateful. There's an 888 in there, but my guide said no on the cards. So I'm just going to show you the trinket you got, which is love. Okay, love what you do. Lead with love there as well. But 888 on the cards, there is obviously an 888 in here. Okay, so I'm just going to see what that is. 808. Can you show me where that is, please, Spirit? Can you please guide me? Okay. Okay. So I was given that it is at the beginning. Yeah, there we go. Abundance. Oh, well, that's great. 888 is actually the connection number to wealth. There is an 888 in there, but my guides are saying no, it's the cards. It's interesting. I can't see it now. Can't find it. But it is in there. Oh, there it is. Yeah. This is what I feel like I had in my hand. I can't really tell ever because it's just metal. But maybe I'll go back on the camera and see if that is what dropped out of my fingers. Okay. But my guides gave me 888 anyway. And it says, you're being graced with the gift of abundance. That's literally that card right there. Doors of opportunity are opening. Blessings are going to be flowing in. It's time to embrace your full potential and achieve unimaginable results. As you do, success, love, health, and happiness will effortlessly unfold in your life. The time is now to bask in the glow of abundance. So I just thought I better, listen to what my guides said, because if I don't, I do get critiqued as well. But it obviously had relevance, and my guides wanted me to read this card for you. So I'm going to leave that there as a little special card, okay? Now, if you'd like to be with a chance to win a free personal reading from me, all you have to do is put an emoji of a candle in the comments box below. And if you don't have access to a candle emoji, then just write the word candle, and my guides will draw me to a person's name. It has to be a subscriber, because I can't find anyone's name if you're not subscribed. That's not just me being cheeky trying to get subscriptions there. To subscribe is free, okay? And if you don't win this time round, of course you can stay on, but if you don't want to, you can just unsubscribe, of course. But the algorithms have changed, so I can't find people's names who are not subscribed to the channel. So I just thought I'd mention that there for you, and I'll announce the winner's name at the end of September, okay? So thank you so much, my beautiful Virgo, and love and light.